morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're connecting from. I'm super excited and to be hosting you today. You know what? My name is Henry Moyo, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I just love, sharing and helping guys to learn some of these things that at least we affect us on a day-to-day basis. So today, I've got a request from one of the guys who's been following our channel, and she's all the way from Nigeria. She's talking about, hey, how can somebody be a good listener, or the importance of effective listening. So I'm going to try and cover this part about it, as well as most people. If they are a good listener, if you ask many people if they're a good listener, many people say, yes, of course, I'm a good listener. But in reality, very few of us are actually good at listening and also effective listening. So I'll try to cover this and address this over the next few minutes, that at least we have how to become a good listener and how you can form habits that help you to become a good listener, and which makes it easy and more pleasant for people to talk to you. So look, as I've mentioned myself, I'm Henry Moyo. I'm an entrepreneur, and I've been an IT professional. So I've been in the industry for quite some years now, and I'm now start running my own businesses. And what has motivated me is I just realized that, hang on, when I was actually in hospital, I just realized there's so many things that as people we take for granted that at least many people know. But if we just share a little bit about what we know and impact one or two people, we're going to change the world and make it a better place. So I'm just doing my bit, and I want you also to do your bit and apply some of the things that you're going to learn. If you've got something that you want to learn, whatever subject, if I'm not the expert, if I get somebody else who can come and share and help us. So this is the next thing that we're going to do. We're going to have some experts on these shows as well, who will be talking and sharing some of their own experiences. But right now, we're dealing with many things that affect us on a day-to-day basis. So one thing I just want you to know, a study of over 8,000 employees from various backgrounds found that almost all people participated, they believed that they communicated effectively or more effective than their co-workers. But there's no way that everyone could be above average. In reality, you find that only about 25% of the people are very good communicators or good listeners. But what causes this misconception? While most people, agree that listening is a very, very important skill, the majority don't feel a strong need to improve that skill. This is the biggest thing that's worrying about it, because many conflicts that happen is because people, they don't listen to each other or they don't understand. This is probably because effective listening isn't something that we really talk about, and which is strange, because we are social creatures. We are driven by on communication, and listening is arguably the most important aspect of effective communication. So why is it that effective listening matters? So when they do a lot of studies, they found that among a lot of managers as well, that explain that 40% of the variance in their effective leadership, that found that listening contributes at least about 40% of them becoming effective leaders. And think of someone you believe to be an effective leader in your life. Just look at somebody. To be a great teacher, a great politician, a boss, or even a parent, would you consider them to be a good listener? So you see that many people who are great, they are very good listeners. So leadership and listening, you can't separate those two. As a leader, working on your listening skills will help you foster bonds and trust between yourself and your subordinates. And also, being a good listener will also help demonstrate the concern you have for their well-being, and which will make them more committed to you and to the work that they do for you. Because if people say things to you and also they don't see you taking action on what they are raising to you, and they lose trust and they lose commitment to what you're saying to them as well. So effective listening tends to reduce the frequency of interpersonal conflict. And because it's more likely that the dispute can be resolved by coming to a win-win situation. So think about it. When you feel as though no one is listening to you, to your side of the story, you become more likely to be on the defense and become more passionate about your point. But if somebody is listening to your point or is listening to you, it disempowers you. And on the other hand, if you feel though your concerns are being taken into account, you'll probably be more likely to agree to a compromise and likely to work towards a middle ground. So if you show that at least you're listening, this also reduces conflict as well. So I might be asking, so what is effective listening? At this point, I'm sure you're ready to finally get to the bottom of what is effective listening is and how to get in the habit of practicing it. First, maybe in one sentence, describe what you think effective listening is in the comments below. What do you think effective listening is as well? So make other people feel heard. So effective listening is actively absorbing information while showing the speaker that you are listening and engaged. Then provide feedback that shows them that you have that they've been heard. So in other words, effective listeners show speakers that they have been heard and understood. So if you're talking to somebody, whatever they have said, try to repeat it to them. Okay, hang on, agree with them, and not be waiting to say your other side of the story. Because many people, when you're communicating to them, they can't wait for you to finish whatever you're saying so that they can talk. So that creates a barrier for you to be a good listener. So first, be somebody who absorbs, allow the other person to speak, and and let them finish whatever their viewpoint is. So, like I mentioned before, humans are social creatures who thrive on relationships. So one of the best things you can do for another person is to show them that their communication is working and their message is being delivered effectively. Have you ever left a conversation feeling more confused and lost than you did going into it? So that's poor communication. Now you think of a time you sat down with somebody and discussed your thoughts in a way that almost left you with a sense of relief when you walked away. You will find that the person allowed you to express yourselves. And also beware of body language when communicating to somebody. So your body language is extremely important component of listening. So some research suggests that it's more important than the words you speak. So it's more like I'm saying, "Oh, I'm excited," and then I look so dull and so. But hey, I must say, hey, I'm excited or I'm happy, and I'm what you can see it through your body language. Somebody might even ask, "Say why?" Because how you express things as well. When you're having a conversation with somebody, face the speaker and maintain an eye contact. Look at them, maintain an eye contact, and this shows them that they have your undivided attention. But nowadays, people are multitasking. And I say to say, you're not really multitasking, you're multi-switching. From you switch on this side, you switch on to this side. So another first person is crossing yourself off from the person with your arms or legs. Psychology shows that crossed arms can be interpreted as a sign of defensiveness or awkwardness. It's if you are looking to create an environment of openness, keep your arms and legs uncrossed and sit in a plain view or of your talking partner so that they can see you and with no barriers like a desk or something like that in the way as well. And this is one of the biggest things you must do: put down your phone. So talking to somebody while you're looking around the room, checking their watch, studying a computer screen, and gazing out the window or looking at their phone makes you feel as though you're not being heard. So while you might be thinking that while your multitasking skills are good enough to hold the conversation while simultaneously doing something else, there's no doubt that making a habit of this will create some tension between you and your conversation partners. So put down everything, face them, and talk to them. And my daughter will actually come and say, "Hey, daddy," and now I've learned, you know what, I just have to stop everything that I'm doing. She does not understand whatever you're doing. She wants the attention. So, but now at a certain age, adults might not be able to call you to order to say, hang on. They'll just let you do, but they'll know that, hang on, I'm not being heard. Just like myself, I meet a lot of people. I can tell you this person, I'm wasting my time, and I see that this person is not paying attention to me. Sometimes I can actually cut the conversation, and or I will wait for them to finish. If I see somebody's busy typing on their computer, I'll wait. I'll stop talking and wait, because you can't be typing and talking to me. Because when you're typing, you're thinking. And when you're thinking, you're not listening to what the next person is saying to you. So sometimes you force the person to start paying attention. So be attentive, be relaxed. I should clarify that although eye contact is important, there is such a thing. There's no such a thing as too much eye contact, and you don't have to stay at one person. You can look away now and then, but just be attentive. Not occasionally to show the person that, hey, you're listening. Nod, so that at least the person can see, hey, that at least you're paying attention. You're listening to what they're saying. You can say, okay, or just something, so that at least you can indicate to them that at least you're engaged in the conversation as well. And also, I mean, when you say gaze at somebody, don't now start staring at somebody. It makes it an uncomfortable situation as well. And also keep an open mind. Effective listening means listening without judging the person or mentally criticizing things they tell you. Remember, you're not listening to respond. You're listening to learn something new. So don't jump to conclusion about the things they say. Instead, ask questions. This is the biggest problem many people have. They jump into conclusions. They bring in things that are not related to the current situation, because this happened yesterday or last time this happened. They jump into conclusions, and at the end of the day, is it creates also makes the person into a defense person. So just have an open mind, listen, ask questions, verify, and also get them to talk more as well. And also, don't be a sentence grabber. Don't be a sentence grabber. Sometimes when you are taking in information, you have your own train of thought and running through your mind, which makes it easy to try to jump in and finish other people's thoughts or sentences. Don't be this person. Don't be a sentence grabber. And let them picture their own words. So when someone is talking to you, try and paint a mental picture of what they are saying. This can help you focus also in connecting more to the words they speak. So when you're listening for a long sentence stretch of a story, concentrate on and remember keywords and phrases, and your brain will do the rest of the work for you. So if your thoughts start to wander, refocus with a question or restate what they said, it's also okay to stop them and say something like this. Wait, I'm sorry. I just want to clarify that I'm following you. You said this. Is that okay? Is that correct? And then, okay, say, okay, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that part or whatever last part you have said or you have mentioned? So don't impose your solutions unless you have been asked for them. So when you are listening to somebody, talk about, when listening to someone talk about a problem, refrain from suggesting solutions. This is difficult for many people to do. Refrain from suggesting solutions. We all want to help. And when the answer seems clear to you, you want to share it. But most of the time, people just want to share their thoughts. And you are bursting with a fantastic idea. So ask your conversation partner, would you like to hear my thoughts? So people, we jump into conclusions. So the best thing I can tell you is, when you have, try to make them see the solution themselves. Ask questions. And also, we all think and speak at different rates. So if you're a quick thinker, so then it's up to you to learn how to refrain and slow down. And in order to be an effective listener, you must train yourself to stop interrupting. And also, when you cut someone off with your own thoughts, you are essentially saying, I'm more important than you are. What I have to say is more interesting, accurate, and relevant. What you're saying doesn't really matter. I don't have time for this conversation. This is a contest of who knows more and who's going to win. So although you may not intend to communicate any of those things, your accents suggest otherwise. Because now the other person is waiting to speak again to make their point as well. So learn to probe. The best journalists, interviewers, and researchers learn the importance of probing early on. So probing just means asking for additional information, but it can help you understand the situation more fully. So effective probing comes from a non-judgmental place and follows the flow of what's being previously said. So additional probing really shows the person you're speaking with what they are paying attention to and deal and fully invested in what they're saying. So you're actually making them share more on what they've actually said to you. So don't put somebody on the defense. So being an effective listener involves listening to a response in ways that won't sound off-putting the person who is speaking. This means avoiding accusation questions like, "Why would you do that? How could you have thought that?" While your intentions might be innocent, the tone of these phrases will likely come as off as judgmental, which is not your goal and which is not your intentions. So don't be what they call a topper. We are all guilty of jumping in and sharing your own stories about a topic as they're being discussed. But that's a habit we should break. Think of this from the perspective of a conversational partner. They have come to you to share their thoughts. And in response, you have started talking about yourself. This gives the impression that we are not listening or don't care about other people's experience. So, although we usually, mention our own experiences as a way to say you are not alone, we risk sending the message that we are superior or more important. So, if you find yourself doing this, finish your thoughts quickly, then apologize, say, or something like that. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I don't mean to get us off track, and it isn't a conversation about me. Let's get back to your topic. And also another word also on giving advice is, I want to reiterate that you have got to be mindful about giving unsolicited advice. Most people give advice because they like to, but when you start advising without consent from your conversational partner, you have stopped listening and you risk dominating the dialogue. So rather than assuming that someone wants your advice, be safe and remain quiet unless your opinion is sought out. So is this, if this is especially difficult for you, try some of these methods. Ask your partner something like, have you thought about what your next step is? This gives them a chance to say, yes, I will do one, two, three, or do you have any ideas? So ask them probing questions to see what is it that they have in mind as a solution. Thank them for sharing this information with you. And then, you know what? And if they want any additional guidance, then you can give. So you need to have their permission. Sometimes people, they just want to have somebody where they can share whatever is in their mind, or they can offload whatever is in their mind. Not that at least they really want you to give them advice. So keep in mind that your goal as a listener is to try and develop a deeper bond. So if your goal is to better connect with someone, then you should be making an effort to work with them, and instead of telling them what to do. So just in conclusion as well, as an active listener, your ultimate goal is to get as much information as possible in a time efficient manner and leave the conversation on better terms. This means setting the environment for a comfortable conversation through body language, being mindful of the way you react to phrases and ideas, especially those that you might not agree with, asking questions that encourage the speaker to share more, refrain from giving unsolicited advice. So my advice for you is go out there and listen. And I hope you enjoyed this time that at least we have had together. And there's so many resources out there that can also help you to become a good and more effective listener. So don't give unsolicited advice. So now I'm going to give you a task and a homework for you to go and do. Try this and see how it's going to work and how people are going to enjoy themselves being around you. So next time you're having a conversation with your friends, be a listener. Let them talk. So if they're talking about, hey, we went out partying, we went out doing this, I went for this soccer match, or hey, my child was doing this. Most of the time, somebody's talking about their child or about their kid, they've done this. We also want to jump in and talk about our kids as well to say, hang on, oh, my kid is involved in this. Oh, my kid also won this. You know what? Don't do that. Just give that person a moment to share their excitement. Be a good listening board or sounding board. So if somebody is telling you, you know what, my child maybe has been chosen for this national team or for this sporting team or is this. So ask them, so what's the next move? When is the next match? When can we come? How can we see? How is this game played? So let them brag to you. Let them shine. Let them, people want people who can listen to them. Most of the time is when people are in conversations, there are people who are just ready to jump in and share their points as well. And now when you're in a conversation, don't listen or don't be in a conversation for somebody to wait them finish so that you can say your point. Be in a conversation to get more information from the person. Ask them so that you can hear their viewpoint in a better way. So when somebody has said something, ask them a question to clarify more what they have said or to add more to say, wow, comment back on what they have said before you say your own point, and agree, or don't just agree for the sake of agreeing. But if you don't agree, don't just be so obvious that you don't agree. Probe them so they can explain you so that you can understand their viewpoint. So thank you so much for listening. I hope this has been of great value to you. If you've got any area, any section that you want us to share, we are just having this Monday show so that at least we can share whatever we can and something that's of value to the community. And you could go onto our website, www.henrymoyo.net. You'll find most of these topics as well. And you can also find us on YouTube and listen to some of our previous talks as well. And we're just there to have fun and to help you and create content that is of value to an ordinary person. And thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you. Have a great day and have a great week ahead. Can't wait to be with you the next coming week. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Thank you.